Container smells like rust and fear. 12 guns, all pointed at me. I'm 68 years old. My knees hurt. My back's been bad since '94. But I've seen worse odds behind me. 50 women, chained, terrified. Ages 19 to 32. Beside me, Nora. 23, my granddaughter. The one I never knew existed until 3 days ago. Her right hand still in a cast. Broken by these same bastards. She's holding a USB drive. The evidence that'll burn this whole operation down. Vaughn Cross stands 10 feet away. Gun aimed at my head. Smirking, end of the road, old man, he says. I can hear sirens outside. FBI's 30 seconds out, maybe less. 30 seconds is a long time when someone wants you dead. You know what I learned in 40 years with the Angels? I ask him. He doesn't answer. The guys who talk the most usually shoot the worst. His finger tightens on the trigger, and that's when everything goes sideways. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This story starts 72 hours ago with a broken hand and a cup of coffee I almost dropped. Maggie's Diner sits on Route 89 like it's been there forever. Probably has been. I've been coming here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 14 years. Same booth, same order, same routine. People say routine makes you predictable, vulnerable. Maybe they're right, but when you've lived the life I have, routine feels like peace. My name's Garrett Steel. I'm 68. Used to run the Phoenix chapter of the Hells Angels. Started in '76. Became boss in '85. Walked away in 2010, 14 years ago. 14 years of fixing motorcycles in my garage. Drinking coffee at Maggie's. Watching the desert sun come up. Yet that Monday started like every other. I walked in at 6:15. The bell above the door rang. Maggie looked up from behind the counter. Morning, Garrett. Morning, Mag. I headed to my booth. Last one on the left. Back to the wall. Eyes on the door. Old habits. The diner was almost empty. Just Earl, the trucker, nursing his third cup of coffee. And old Pete reading yesterday's newspaper. Then I saw her new waitress. Young, maybe mid-20s. Blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. Green eyes, tired green eyes, but that's not what caught my attention. It was her right hand, wrapped in a cast, fresh. Maybe 2-3 days old, purple bruising crawled up past her wrist. The kind of bruising that doesn't come from falling. I've seen enough broken bones to know the difference. She walked over, tried to smile. It didn't reach her eyes. Morning, sir. What can I voice shook? Just a little. 2 eggs over easy. Bacon. Toast, coffee black, coming right up. She turned to go. That's when the handkerchief fell from her apron pocket. White, embroidered with initials in blue thread, NWS. I picked it up. Miss? She stopped, turned, saw what I was holding. Fear flashed across her face. Real fear. You dropped this. Oh, thank you. She took it. Her hand was shaking now, not just a little. Our eyes met. In that moment, I knew this woman was running from something, someone. And whatever it was bad. 40 years in the Angels teaches you to read people, their eyes, their tells. This girl was terrified. She walked back to the kitchen. I watched her go. Maggie came out instead. Set down my coffee. New hire? I asked. Nora, starting yesterday. Quiet girl. Good worker. Nora what? Maggie looked at me. She knows me well enough to recognize the tone. Whitfield. Nora Whitfield. Why? I didn't answer. Just sipped my coffee. When Nora brought my food 20 minutes later, I watched her hands, the way she held the plate, the way she kept glancing at the door, like she expected someone to burst through any second. I left a $100 tip on an $8 check. She stared at it when she cleared the table, looked at me. I was already standing to leave. Be careful out there, I said. She nodded. Didn't say anything. Her eyes said everything. Please don't ask. The more you know, the more danger you're in. I walked out to my Harley, 1993 Softail, 400,000 miles and still running strong. That's when I saw it. The parking lot was empty except for 3 vehicles, my bike, Earl's rig, and a beat-up Ford Taurus with Nevada plates. Had to be Nora's. I walked past it, casual, like I was just stretching my legs, glanced underneath. There, tucked up behind the rear wheel well. GPS tracker, small. Professional grade, someone was watching her. I could have walked away. Should have walked away. 14 years apiece. That's what I'd earned. But I kept seeing those scared green eyes. That broken hand. I thought about my sister, Adelaide, in 1988. She called me one night, crying, said her husband hit her, said she needed help. I told her I'd come get her. Right after I finished this one thing, just one thing, 30 minutes. When I got there, she was dead. He'd shot her. Then himself, 30 minutes. That's the difference between life and death sometimes. I made a choice that day. Wrong choice. I wasn't going to make it again. I took out my knife, cut the tracker loose, walked over to Earl's truck. He was pulling out, heading east toward New Mexico. I tossed the tracker in his truck bed as he drove past. Let whoever was watching follow him for a while. Then I called Sheriff Wade Brennan. We go back 20 years. He knows what I am, what I was, Garrett. It's 6 a.m. We got a problem. Wade, girl at Maggie's, someone's tracking her car. Professional job, silence on the line. You sure? Yeah, you know this girl? No. But I know, scared when I see it. Another pause, Garrett. You retired, remember? Quiet life? I remember. Then leave it alone. Call it an anonymous if you want. But stay out of it. I hung up. Wade meant well. He was probably right. But I didn't call him for permission. I called him so someone would know if things went bad. I was in my garage when Maggie called, working on a 72 Chevy. Customer pickup tomorrow. My phone rang. Maggie's name on the screen, Garrett. You need to get here. Now, her voice was wrong. Shaking. What happened? They took her. They took Nora. I was on my bike in 30 seconds. The ride to Maggie's took 12 minutes. Felt like 12 hours. When I pulled up, there were two sheriff's cars in the lot. Wade's Cruiser among them. The diner's front window was shattered. Glass everywhere. Inside, Maggie sat in a booth. Deputy next to her, taking notes. Wade saw me come in. His face said it all. I told you to stay out of it. I ignored him. Walked to Maggie. What happened? She looked up. Her eyes were red. 3 SUVs. Black. They pulled up around 2:30. 6 men got out. Walked right in. What did they want? They asked for Nora. I said she was on break. They pushed past me, found her in the kitchen. Maggie's voice cracked. She screamed. Garrett, she fought. But there were too many. They dragged her out, threw her in one of the trucks. Anyone get plates? Wade answered, already running, rentals out of Vegas. Dead end so far. I looked around the diner, overturned chairs, broken glass, blood on the floor, not much, but enough. She left something for you, Maggie said. She handed me a napkin. Written in shaky handwriting behind the register, bottom shelf, blue box. If I don't come back, give to FBI. NW. I looked at Wade. You see this? He shook his head, looked away. Plausible deniability. I walked behind the counter, bottom shelf. There, a small blue box, like the kind jewelry comes in. Inside, a USB drive, taped to it, a note. If anyone finds this, it means I'm dead. My name is Nora Whitfield Steel. I'm the granddaughter of Garrett Steel, Phoenix, Arizona. I was trying to find him, but ran out of time. This is evidence of a human trafficking ring run by Vincent Ashford. Please get this to the FBI. NW, the world stopped Steel granddaughter. I read it again. And again, my hands started shaking. Wade was beside me. Garrett, what is it? I couldn't speak. Granddaughter. I only had one daughter, Evelyn, born in 1978. I was 22, too young, too stupid, too caught up in the club. Her mother, Rebecca, left me in 1983, took Evelyn, disappeared. I looked for them, on and off for years, found them in 2005. California Evelyn was 27, married, had a baby. I stood outside her house, watched through the window. She was smiling, holding her daughter. Happy. I turned around, walked away. A man who abandons his kid doesn't deserve forgiveness. That's what I told myself. Now I was holding a note from my granddaughter. A granddaughter I never knew existed, and she was in the hands of traffickers. Garrett, Wade's voice cut through. I looked at him. I need your laptop. We went to Wade's office. He booted up his computer, handed it to me. I plugged in the USB, one folder. One video file, 47 seconds long. I clicked play. Nora's face filled the screen. She was in a bathroom. Looked like a gas station. Harsh fluorescent light. Her right hand was already in a cast. She was crying. My name is Nora Whitfield Steel. If you're watching this, I'm probably dead. Her voice broke. I've been running for 3 weeks. They found me in Flagstaff 4 days ago. Broke my hand as a warning. She held up the cast. I worked as a bookkeeper for Desert Rose Casino in Las Vegas. I thought it was legitimate. Then I saw the numbers. Transactions that didn't make sense. Millions from unnamed sources. She wiped her eyes. I started digging, found emails, documents. It's a front. They're washing money for a trafficking operation. Women brought across the border, her to the highest bidder, sold to the hands were shaking. I copied everything to this drive. But I made a mistake. They found out. My boss, Vincent Ashford, sent his head of security. Man named Von Cross. She leaned closer to the camera. I'm trying to reach my grandfather, Garrett Steel, Phoenix, he's Arizona. My mother, Evelyn, died in 2019. Before she died, she told me if I ever needed help, find him. Tears streamed down her face. Mom talked about him sometimes. Said he wasn't perfect. Said he made mistakes. But said he was a good man who'd do the right thing if he got a second chance. She took a breath. There's a schedule in the files. Thursday morning, 6 a.m., they're moving 50 women across the border from a warehouse in Phoenix. She looked directly at the camera, please. If someone finds this, stop them. Those women deserve better. The video ended. Sat there, staring at the black screen. Wade didn't say anything for a long time. Finally, Garrett, I'm sorry. About Evelyn, I nodded. Couldn't speak. We need to get this to the FBI. No, he looked at me. What? Open the files. I clicked through the folders, financial records, emails, photos, and then I found it. A list, 43 names, titled buyers, CEOs, politicians, lawyers, and 2 names I recognized, Detective Raymond Kowalski. Vegas PD, Detective Frank Moss. Vegas PD cops, you see that? I asked Wade. He leaned in. His face went pale. If we call Vegas FBI, how do we know who to trust? Wade sat back. We don't. I kept scrolling. Found the schedule Nora mentioned. The Norris Day, 6 a.m., warehouse district, 50 units transferred to Mexico border, by arrival, 7 a.m. Today was Monday, 4:30 p.m., 60 hours, less than 3 days. I need to make some calls, I said. Wade looked at me. Garrett, don't do anything stupid. I'm 68 years old, Wade. Stupid is all I got left. I made 3 calls. First, Dalton Bishop, 70 years old, 6'5", used to box professionally in the 70s. We ran the Phoenix chapter together for 20 years. He picked up on the second ring, Garrett Steel. It's been 10 years since you called me. I need help, Dalton. And it's going to be dangerous. Silence, then I'm in. Where and when? Second call, Fletcher Montgomery, 65. Former Army medic. Served in the Gulf War, 1991, saved 30 soldiers under fire. Got a Bronze Star, came home, joined the club, needed the Brotherhood, Fletcher. It's Garrett, I'll be damned. You dying or something? Might be. I need you. When? Tonight. I'll pack my bag. Third call, Sloan Doherty, 66. Only woman who ever patched into our chapter, former Marine sniper. Best shot I've ever seen. Could hit a target at 800 meters, Garrett. This better be good. I was about to watch Jeopardy. I need a favor. You need more than a favor if you're calling me. My granddaughter's been kidnapped by traffickers. I need to get her back. Pause. Granddaughter. Didn't know you had one. Neither did I until today. Another pause. Give me the address. I'll be there in 4 hours. They all showed up at my garage by midnight. Dalton pulled up in his F-250. Still built like a mountain, gray beard, hands like cinder blocks. Fletcher drove a beat-up Jeep. Lean, wire-thin, eyes that missed nothing. Sloan arrived on a BMW motorcycle, short gray hair, leather jacket, face like carved stone. We hadn't been in the same room together in 10 years, but When they walked into my garage, it felt like yesterday. I showed them the video, the files, told them everything. When I finished, Dalton spoke first. So we're taking on a trafficking ring for a girl you just found out exists. Yes, Fletcher. We're looking at what? 20 guys minimum? Professional security? At least. Sloan. And we're 4 senior citizens with bad knees and worse judgment. That's about right. They looked at each other. Dalton grinned. Sounds like old times. Fletcher nodded. Count me in. Sloan. I'm getting too old for this. But hell, what else am I going to do? Knit? I looked at them, my brothers, my sister. We have 60 to find Nora and stop 50 women from disappearing forever. Dalt cracked his knuckles. Then we better get started. We spread the files across my workbench. Fletcher studied the schedule. They're keeping her somewhere, probably at the casino. That's their base of operations. Sloan, if Ashford runs the place, he'll have serious security. Cameras. Guards, not a place we can just walk into. We don't walk, I said. We find another way. Dalton pulled out his laptop. I might be old, but I learned a few tricks. Let me see what I can do. He started typing. Fast? You hack now, I asked. YouTube, brother. You can learn anything. 20 minutes later, he was into the casino's security feed. Got it. Their server's got more holes than Swiss cheese. He built up camera view, main floor, parking garage, hallways. Then he found it basement level, a long corridor, 3 doors. And in the 3rd room, Nora. She was tied to a chair, face bruised, blood on her shirt. Von Cross stood in front of her, 2 other men behind him. We couldn't hear audio, but we could read lips. Vaughn was asking her something. Nora shook her head. He slapped her. My hands clenched into fists. When? I asked. This is live feed, Dalton said. Happening right now? Fletcher leaned in. We move tonight. We might get her. But we won't stop the shipment Thursday. We move Thursday. She might be dead by then, Sloan said. They were both right. I looked at the screen. At Nora's face, Evelyn's daughter, my granddaughter. We get her tonight, I said. Then we stop the shipment. Dalton, that's a suicide run, Garrett, maybe. But I'm not leaving her there. Fletcher stood. Then we plan. Fast. We got maybe 2 hours before they move her. We gathered around the screen and started planning something very stupid, something that might get us all killed. But sometimes doing the right thing is stupid, and I'd rather die doing the right thing than live knowing I didn't try. The clock read 12, 47 a.m., 57 hours until Thursday. But first, we had to survive tonight. Fletcher spread a map across the workbench. Desert casino, off-strip, smaller operation. Maybe 250 people inside on a Monday night. Sloan. 4 entrances. Front. Back loading dock. Side emergency exit. Underground parking. Dalton pulled up the basement layout on his laptop. 3 rooms down there. First 2 are storage. 3rd is where they're holding Nora. 1 way in, 1 way out, guards. I asked. 4 on the main floor. 2 in the parking garage. At least 2 in the basement. 8 minimum, plus Vaughn and his guys. We can't fight our way through 8 guards, Fletcher said. We don't fight, Sloan said. We ghost. She pointed to the loading dock. Dalton, can you kill the lights? Just the basement level? He typed. Yeah, they're on a separate circuit. I can cut power remotely. How long? 30 seconds, maybe 45. Then backup generators kick in. That's enough, Sloan said. She looked at me. You remember how to move quiet? I smiled. Like riding a bike, Fletcher. We need a distraction. Something to pull security upstairs. Dalton grinned. Leave that to me. The plan was simple, 1:45 a.m. Dalton would trigger the fire alarm on the 3rd floor. Security would rush up to investigate. At the same time, Sloan would cut the basement lights. Fletcher and I would enter through the loading dock, 30 seconds to get to Nora's room, neutralize guards, grab her out through the parking garage. Sloan would cover our exit from a rooftop across the street sill. Probably wouldn't work, but it was all we had. We loaded into Dalton's truck, 1:30 a.m. The drive to Vegas took 3 hours. We didn't talk much. Just four old bikers heading into something we probably wouldn't walk out of. But that's the thing about brotherhood. You don't question. You don't hesitate. When your brother calls, you show up. Even if it's been 10 years, even if you're 68 years old with bad knees, even if it might be the last ride, you show up. We pulled into a parking lot 2 blocks from the casino at 4:38 a.m. The sun would be up in an hour. We had maybe 30 minutes before the place got too crowded. Fletcher checked his med kit. Sloan assembled her rifle. Dalton tested the connection to the casino system. I just sat there, looking at the building. Somewhere inside, my granddaughter was waiting, scared, hurt, alone. I thought about Evelyn, wondered what she looked like at 27, at 30, at 40. I'd missed it all, every birthday. But I wouldn't miss this. I wouldn't let Nora down the way I let Evelyn down, even if it killed me, Garrett, Fletcher's voice. You ready? I looked at him, at Dalton, at Sloan. Let's bring her home. We moved, and the night exploded into chaos. The loading dock smelled like garbage and cigarettes. Fletcher and I crouched behind a dumpster, waiting. My earpiece crackled Sloan's voice, in position. Rooftop across the street. Clear sight lines to the exit. And Dalton, fire alarm ready, basement lights ready. On your mark, Garrett. I checked my watch. 4:44 a.m., 30 seconds, I whispered. My heart was pounding, knees aching. I'm too old for this. But Nora's face flashed in my mind, tied to that chair. Bleeding age didn't matter. 10 seconds. Fletcher checked his med kit one more time. His hands were steady. Mine weren't. 5, 4, 3, 2. Mark. The fire alarm screamed. Inside, I heard shouting, footsteps running upstairs. Dalton's voice. Alarms triggered 3rd floor. Security's moving. You got 60 seconds before they figure out it's fake. I pulled the loading dock door. Unlocked, just like Dalton said it would be. We slipped inside. The hallway was dim. Concrete floor, fluorescent lights humming. We moved fast. Quiet 40 years ago. I could have done this in my sleep. Now my knees popped with every step, but I kept moving. The basement stairs were at the end of the hall. 20 feet, 15, 10. A guard rounded the corner. Young, maybe 25. And on his radio, he saw us, opened his mouth to shout. Fletcher moved 1 step. Elbow to the temple. The guard dropped. Still got it. Doc, I whispered. Muscle memory, he said. We reached the stairs, started down. Dalton's voice. Lights go dark in 2, 1. The basement went black. Emergency lights would kick in any second. We ran down the stairs, into the corridor. I counted doors. 1, 2, 3. The door was steel. Locked. Fletcher pulled out a small tool. Started working the lock. How long, I asked. 10 seconds. The emergency lights flickered on. Dim. Red. I heard voices. Behind us, someone's down here. Fletcher got the lock open. We burst through the door. Nora was there, still tied to the chair, her head snapped up, eyes wide. 2 guards in the room, both reaching for weapons. I hit the first one. Straight punch to the throat. He went down, gasping. Fletcher tackled the second. They crashed into a table. I ran to Nora. I'm grandfather. Your grandfather. We're getting you out. She stared at me, tears streaming. You came, always. I pulled out my knife, cut the ropes. She collapsed. I caught her. Fletcher was beside me. She's hurt. Ribs. Maybe internal bleeding. Can she walk? She'll have to. Dalton's voice crackled. Garage exit now. They know you're there. I pulled Nora's arm over my shoulder. Stay with me. We're going home. We moved into the corridor. 3 guards appeared at the far end. Sloan's voice. I don't have a shot inside. Get to the exit. The guards raised weapons. Fletcher fired first. Warning shot over their heads. They dove for cover. We ran. Nora stumbled. I held her up. My legs burned. Lungs screaming. We kept moving. The parking garage stairs. Right there. We crashed through the door. Into the garage. Cars everywhere. Dalton's truck was parked near the exit. 50 feet away. Running footsteps behind us. Sloan's voice. 4 targets following. Get to the truck. I'll slow them down. We ran 40 feet. 30. 20. A shot rang out behind us. The concrete wall beside me exploded. They weren't shooting to warn anymore. Another shot, this one close. Then Sloan, I heard the crack of her rifle. Once, twice, behind us, someone screamed. 2 down, Sloan said, "Keep moving." We reached the truck. Threw the door open. Nora fell inside. Fletcher jumped in after her. I looked back. 2 guards still coming, weapons raised. Sloan fired again. 1 guard grabbed his shoulder. Went down, the last one stopped. Took cover, I got in the truck. Go! Go! Dalton hit the gas. We rocketed out of the garage, into the pre-dawn streets behind us. The casino lights faded. Nora was in the back seat, bleeding, breathing hard, but alive. Fletcher was checking her ribs. Broken. At least 2. Maybe 3. She needs a hospital. No hospitals, Nora gasped. They have people watching hospitals. She's right, I said. Fletcher, can you patch her up? He nodded. Not here. Somewhere safe. Alton. My place. 2 hours away. Tucson, do it. I turned to look at Nora. Her face was bruised. Cut lip. Black eye forming, but she was looking at me. You're really him, she whispered. My grandfather, yeah. I'm him. Mom talked about you. All the time. My throat tightened. She did. She said, you were a good man who made mistakes, but you'd do the right thing if you got another chance. Tears burnt my eyes. I'm sorry I wasn't there. For you. Nora reached out, grabbed my hand with her good one. You're here now. We drove into the sunrise, and for the first time in 14 years, I felt like I had a purpose again. But this wasn't over, not even close. Dalton's place in Tucson was a small ranch house, middle of nowhere. Perfect. Fletcher set up a makeshift clinic in the spare bedroom. Nora lay on the bed, shirt cut away, bruises everywhere. Fletcher worked in silence, wrapping ribs, cleaning wounds. I stood in the doorway, watching. Sloan was outside. Standing watch, Dalton was in the kitchen, making coffee. My phone buzzed. Maggie. I answered. Yeah, Garrett, Sheriff Wade was here. Looking for you. What did you tell him? Nothing, but he knows you took off. He's worried. Tell me I'm fine. Pause. He also said there was a fire at your place. Your trailer. My blood went cold. What? Burned to the ground 2 hours ago. The fire department says it was arson. I closed my eyes. They knew where I lived. Anyone hurt? No. But Garrett, they're looking for you, I know. I hung up, walked into the kitchen. My trailer's gone, I said. They torched it. Dalton looked up. They're sending a message. Yeah, stop looking, or else you gonna stop? I thought about Nora in the next room. Broken ribs. Broken hand, no. Fletcher appeared in the doorway. She's stable, sleeping now. But Garrett, she said something before she passed out. What? She said there's a second USB from her mother, hidden in her trailer. My heart stopped. Evelyn had a USB? That's what she said. Nora didn't even know what was on it. Her mother gave it to her before she died. Told her to find you if she ever got in trouble. Evelyn, my daughter, dead 5 years, and still trying to protect her child. The trailer, I said, Nora's trailer in Arizona. We need to get there. Dalton, if your place got torched, hers probably did too. We have to try. We loaded back into the truck, left Sloan with Nora. To keep watch, Dalton drove. Fletcher rode shotgun. I sat in the back, thinking about Evelyn. I'd only seen her once, that day in 2005 through a window, holding her baby. I'd never knocked, never said hello. I convinced myself she was better off without me. Maybe I was right. Maybe I was just a coward. Now she was gone and I'd never know. The drive to Nora's trailer took 40 minutes. When we pulled up, my heart sank. The trailer was a burned husk, black, charred, collapsed Yetio tape everywhere. Fire department had already been through. We got here first, Dalton said. I got out, walked to the ruins. Everything was ash, metal twisted, glass melted. Fletcher stood beside me. If the USB was in there, it's gone, I finished. We stood there, silent, and Maggie's truck pulled up. She got out, walked over, saw your bike at Dalton's place yesterday. Figured you'd come here, Mag. This isn't safe. You should go, probably. But I brought you something. She held out a small wooden box, charred on the outside, but intact, found it in the ashes this morning. Fire chief was going to toss it. But I saw the initials. I took the box, carved into the lid, EWS. Evelyn Whitfield Steel. My hands shook. I opened it. Inside, protected by the thick teak wood, a USB drive and a letter, handwritten, sealed in a plastic bag. The letter was addressed to me. Garrett Steel sat down on the ground, right there in the ash. Up in the letter, Maggie, Dalton, and Fletcher stepped back, gave me space. I read, Garrett, if my daughter, Nora, is reading this, it means I'm gone. And it means she's in danger. I know you stood outside my house in 2005. I saw you through the window. I wanted to run out to hug you, to tell you I understood, but I was scared. Scared you didn't want me anymore. Scared I'd been replaced. Scared of rejection, so I let you walk away. I've regretted it every day since. Garrett, I forgave you a long time ago. Mom told me you were a bad man, that you chose the club over us. But as I got older, I realized the truth. You were young, stupid, lost, you made mistakes. But you weren't evil, and I think if you'd had a second chance, you would have chosen differently. This USB contains something important. When I worked as a nurse in Las Vegas, 2015, 2018, I saw things. Women coming into the ER, always the same injuries, same pattern. I started documenting names, photos, medical records. Then I understood they were victims of trafficking. I copied their files, DNA fingerprints, everything. On this USB are medical records for over 200 women. And in those records, DNA evidence of the men who hurt them. I wanted to go to the police, but some of the doctors at the hospital were involved. I didn't know who to trust, so I kept the USB hidden. I got sick in 2018, cancer. It moved fast. Before I died, I gave Nora this box. Told her if she ever needed help, find you. I didn't know if you were still alive. Still in Arizona, but I hoped. Garrett, if Nora is in danger and has found you, please protect her. Protect her the way you couldn't protect me. Do the right thing. Give her the second chance I never gave you. I love you, Dad. I always did. Evelyn and I folded the letter. Tears streamed down my face. I'd spent 40 years thinking my daughter hated me. She didn't. She forgave me, and I never knew. Dalton's hand on my shoulder. Garrett, you okay? I wasn't. But I nodded anyway. Let's see what's on the drive. Back at Dalton's place, we plugged in Evelyn's USB. The files loaded 237 medical records, woman aged 19 to 35. Each record detailed injuries, sexual assault, physical abuse. And each one had DNA evidence. Fletcher scrolled through. His face got darker with every file. This is God. This is a prosecutor's dream. Every one of these files has evidence. Can we match the DNA to anyone? I asked. Dalton took over, started cross-referencing. It took an hour. When he finished, his face was pale, 43 matches. These DNA samples are in the system. Arrest records, government databases, public records. He pulled up the list, COs, lawyers, doctors, politicians, and two names that made my blood boil, Detective Raymond Kowalski. Vegas PD Detective Frank Moss. Vegas PD cops, I said. Not just cops, Fletcher said. These two are in Ashford's files, too. They're on his payroll. The pieces clicked together. Ashford ran the trafficking ring. These 43 men were the buyers, including two cops who made sure nobody investigated. And Evelyn had documented all of it without even knowing. She'd just been a nurse, trying to help patients. And she'd built a case that could destroy an entire network. Nora needs to see this, I said. We went to the bedroom. Nora was awake, sitting up. Still looked like hell, but her eyes were clear, Nora. Your mother left you something. We found it. I handed her the letter. She read. Tears fell. When she finished, she looked at me. She forgave you. Yeah, she loved you. Yeah, and you came for me, like she knew you would. I knelt beside the bed. I'm sorry I wasn't there for her.
For you.
I'm sorry I wasted 40 years being a coward. Nora grabbed my hand. You're here now. That's what matters. I showed her the USB contents. Her eyes widened. 200 women. Mom documented all of them? She did. and the DNA matches 43 buyers, including the cops protecting Ashford. Nora's face hardened. We can bring them all down, every single one we can. But first, we need to get this to the FBI. Who do we trust? Good question. Dalton pulled up his laptop. Let me do some digging. 2 hours later, he had an answer. Agent Catherine Reeves, Phoenix FBI office. Clean record. No connections to Vegas. No red flags. You sure? As sure as I can be. I made the call. Agent Reeves answered on the third ring. This is Special Agent Reeves. Agent Reeves, my name is Garrett Steel. I have evidence of a human trafficking ring operating between Las Vegas and Phoenix. Silence, Mr. Steele. How did you get this number? That doesn't matter. What matters is I have 2 USB drives, financial records, medical records, DNA evidence, enough to arrest over 60 people. That's a big claim. What do you want? I want you to stop a shipment. Thursday morning, 6 a.m., 50 women being moved across the border. Another pause. We'd need 48 hours minimum to prepare a warrant. Coordinate with Border Patrol. Get a team ready. We don't have 48 hours. We have 36. That's impossible. Then those 50 women disappear. Forever. I heard her typing, Mr. Steele. If what you're saying is true, this is the biggest trafficking case in the Southwest in 20 years. I can't rush this. Too many ways it goes wrong, then don't rush. But I'm going in, with or without you. Don't do that. You'll get yourself killed, and you'll blow the entire investigation, maybe. But at least those women have a chance. I hung up, looked at the others. She won't move in time, Fletcher. So what do? We hit the warehouse ourselves. Tomorrow night, Sloan, who'd been listening from the doorway, stepped in. 4 of us. Against what? 20? 30 guys? Probably. And if we win, those 50 women get free. But the buyers walk, the cops walk, Ashford might walk. She was right. Nora spoke up. Then we need more than a rescue. We need proof, video, audio. Ashford confessing how? Dalton asked. Nora's eyes hardened. We make him think he's won. We offer a trade. Me for the women? No, I said immediately. It's the only way. I'm not using you as bait. You're not. I'm volunteering. Fletcher shook his head. You've got 3 broken ribs, a broken hand. You can barely stand. I can stand enough. I looked at her. This stubborn, brave, broken young woman, Evelyn's daughter, my granddaughter. No, Garrett, please. Mom spent 3 years collecting evidence, and she was too scared to use it. She died without regret. Nora's voice cracked. I won't make the same mistake. I won't let fear stop me from doing what's right. I sat down. She was right, and I hated it if we do this, I said slowly. We do it smart. We wire you. We have backup. And at the first sign of trouble, we pull you out. Agreed, Dalton. We'll need equipment, cameras, mix, Fletcher, and a plan to get those women out once Ashford shows. Sloan, I'll need high ground. Somewhere I can cover the exits. We spent the next 6 hours planning. By midnight, we had something. It was risky, probably suicidal. But it was a plan. Wednesday morning, we'd contact Ashford, offer the trade. Wednesday night, we'd walk into a trap and hope we walked back out. The warehouse sat in an industrial district outside Phoenix, abandoned, rusted. Perfect for illegal activity. We'd been watching it since noon, counting guards, mapping exits, looking for patterns. 12 men, rotating shifts, armed, not great odds, but we'd faced worse. At 6 CPM, I made the call, Ashford's number, from Nora's phone. He answered on the first ring. Well, little Nora. Still alive. I'm impressed. I want to make a deal, Nora said. Her voice shook, just enough to sound scared. What kind of deal? I give you the USB. You let the 50 women go, Ashford laughed. Why would I do that? I already have buyers lined up. They're worth millions, because if you don't, this USB goes to the FBI, along with a second USB, medical records, DNA evidence, 43 buyers, including 2 cops on your payroll. Silence. You're bluffing, am I? Want to test it? Another pause. Where are you? Somewhere safe. I'll meet you. 9 p.m. tonight, the warehouse. Just you and the women. No guards inside, that's not happening. Then no USB, and you go to prison. Your choice, I could almost hear him thinking finally. Fine, 9 p.m., but I'm bringing security, and if you try anything, everyone dies. Understood. He hung up. Nora looked at me. He took the bait. Yeah, now comes the hard part. At 8:30 p.m., we moved into position, Sloan on a rooftop 300 meters away. Rifle ready, Fletcher and Dalton at the north exit, with a van, ready to evacuate. Me and Nora at the main entrance. She had a wire under her shirt, camera in her jacket button, everything transmitted to Dalton's laptop. You don't have to do this, I said. Yes, I do. I hugged her, carefully. Broken ribs? Your mom would be proud, I hope so. At 8:55 p.m., 2 black SUVs pulled up. Von Cross got out of the first one. Vincent Ashford got out of the second. Mid-50s, gray hair slicked back. Expensive suit. 6 guards with him. So much for no guards inside. Ashford saw me, smiled, Garrett Steel, the washed-up biker. Didn't think I'd see you here. Didn't think you'd be stupid enough to show your face, confident. I like that. Too bad it's misplaced, he gestured. 2 guards opened the back of a truck, chained together. Ages 19 to 32, terrified. My blood boiled. There's your merchandise. Ashford said, now, the USB, Nora held it up. Women first, Ashford laughed. You're in no position to negotiate. Give me the drive. Or everyone dies. Nora didn't move. Ashford nodded to Vaughn. Vaughn pulled his gun, aimed at the nearest woman. 5 seconds. Wait, Nora said. She stepped forward, handed him the USB. Ashford took it. Smiled. Good girl. Now, about those women, he pulled out his own gun, aimed at Nora. You really think I'd let them go? They're worth 10 million. You're worth nothing. That's when everything went wrong. Gunfire erupted, not from us, from the warehouse. More guards poured out. 8, 10, 12. We'd been set up, Sloan's voice crackled. Garrett, 20-plus hostiles. This is an ambush. I grabbed Nora, pulled her behind a concrete barrier. Bullets shredded the air. Fletcher and Dalton returned fire from the north side. Sloan's rifle cracked. Once, twice. Guards dropped. But there were too many. Ashford was running, back to his SUV. The women scattered. Some toward us. Some toward the warehouse cows. I looked at Nora, blood on her shirt. She'd been hit. No, she gasped. I'm okay. Shoulder. Not fatal. Fletcher appeared beside us. We need to move. Now, more gunfire. Sloan. North exit. Go, we ran, dragging Nora between us, bullets everywhere. One of the women fell beside me, shot in the leg. I stopped, grabbed her, kept running. Behind us, Sloan kept firing, covering our retreat. We reached the van. Dalton had the engine running. Get in! Get in! We threw Nora and the woman inside. Fletcher jumped in. I turned back. 49 women still out there. Some running. Some frozen in fear. Garrett, Dalton shouted. We have to go. I looked at those women, then at the guards advancing. We couldn't save them all. Not tonight. I got in the van. Dalton hit the gas. We roared away. Behind us, the warehouse burned. Sloan had set charges, cover our escape. In the van, Nora was unconscious, bleeding. The woman we'd grabbed was crying. We'd saved 2. 48 were still out there, and Ashford had gotten away. I'd failed. Agon. Fletcher worked on Nora in Dalton's kitchen. Bullet had gone through her shoulder. Clean exit. She'd live. The other woman, whose name was Lydia Patterson, sat wrapped in a blanket. She was 32, from Ohio. Kidnapped 6 months ago. They were moving us tonight, she whispered, to Mexico. Then, I don't know. They never told us. Sloan sat beside her. You're safe now. No one's safe. You don't understand. Ashford, he's not the top. He works for someone bigger. Who? I don't know. But I heard him on the phone once. He was scared. Said if the shipment didn't happen, they would kill him. I sat down. We'd hit the warehouse. Lost most of the women. Almost got Nora killed, and Ashford was still out there. We'd accomplished nothing. Dalton walked in. Face grim, I've been monitoring police channels. They found the warehouse. 48 women. All dead. My heart stopped. What? Ashford shot them. After we left, couldn't risk them talking. 48 women dead because of us, because I'd tried to be a hero. I stood up, walked outside, stood in the desert darkness. wanted to scream. Sloan followed me out. This isn't your fault. Yes, it is. I should have waited for the FBI. Should have had a better plan. You did what you thought was right. And 48 people died. She didn't have an answer for that. Neither did I. I stood dead there until the sun came up. Then I went back inside. Nora was awake. Pale, but alive, Garrett, she whispered. I sat beside her. I'm sorry. I failed. Those women are not your fault. Ashford killed them. Not you, I should have. Stop. Her voice was firm. You saved Lydia, and we still have the evidence. Both USBs. Ashford has one. No, she smiled weakly. He has a fake. I gave him a dummy drive. The real one's still here. Hope flickered. You're sure? Positive. I swapped them before we left. Dalton laughed. Smart girl, Fletcher. So we still have leverage, but we don't know where Ashford is, I said. Lydia spoke up. I do. We all turned. He has a backup location. For emergencies. A container yard. At the Phoenix port. Container 247C. How do you know? I was there. 2 days ago. That's where they kept the high-value women. 10 of us before moving us to the warehouse. High value. She looked down, younger, prettier, for special buyers, politicians, rich men. My fist clenched. Is he there now? I don't know, but he might be. He said it was his safe place. I looked at the others. We have one shot. We hit him there. Get those 10 women. And end this, Fletcher. We're down to 3 hours before shipping schedules start. If he's moving containers, we'll lose him. Then we go now, Sloan. We're exhausted. Nora's shot. We lost the element of surprise, I know. But if we don't try, those 10 women are gone forever. Silence. Then Dalton stood. I'm in. Fletcher. Me, Sloan sighed. Guess I'm watching Jeopardy tomorrow instead. Nora tried to sit up. I'm coming. No, I said firmly. You're staying here. With Lydia, Garrett, that's an order. You've done enough. Let us finish this. She wanted to argue, but she was too weak. End it, she said. For those women. For Mom. For Adelaide. For everyone. I nodded. We will. We loaded up 3 old bikers against God knows how many. One last ride. Phoenix port sat at the edge of the city, 200 acres of shipping containers, cranes, empty lots, perfect place to hide. We pulled up 2 blocks away. 5:15 a.m., the sun wasn't up yet, but it would be soon. We had maybe 30 minutes before shift change, before workers arrived, 30 minutes to find container 47C. Get those women and take down Ashford. Dalton checked his laptop one more time. Security's light. 2 guards at the main gate, maybe 4 roaming the yard. Cameras? I asked. Everywhere, but I can loop the feed. Give us 10 minutes before anyone notices. Sloan assembled her rifle. I'll take the east crane. 300 meters out. Clear sight lines. Fletcher checked his med kit. If those women have been locked in a container, they'll need immediate care. Dehydration. Possible hypothermia. I looked at my crew. 3 people, all over 65. We were tired, beat up, running on fumes, but we weren't stopping Dalton. Kill the cameras. Sloan, get in position. Fletcher, you're with me. We moved. Sloan disappeared into the darkness. Heading for the crane, Dalton stayed with the truck. Fingers flying across his keyboard, cameras down in 3, 2, 1. You're dark. 10 minutes. Fletcher and I approached the fence, chain link. 12 feet high, razor wire on top. Fletcher pulled out wire cutters. We'd done this before, decades ago. Different fence, different city, same desperate mission. The fence parted. The container yard was a maze, rows and rows of metal boxes, stacked thigh-high. We needed 247C. There, Fletcher pointed, a sign, numbers painted on the ground, row 247. We ran, quiet as we could. My knees screamed. Fletcher's breathing was labored, but we kept moving row 247. Containers A through Faktanskar C was on the bottom. Red. Rusted, a heavy padlock on the door. I pressed my ear against the metal, voices inside. Faint female, they're in there, I whispered. Fletcher pulled out a small tool. Started working the lock. My earpiece crackled. Sloan, Garrett, we got a problem. 4 SUVs just pulled up. Main gate, my blood went cold. Who? Can't tell. But they're armed. And they're coming your way. How long? 2 minutes, maybe less. Fletcher worked faster. Almost got it. The lock clicked. I pulled the door open. The smell hit me first. Sweat, fear, human waste. 10 women inside, huddled together. Ages 20 to 30. They stared at us. Eyes wide. We're here to help, I said. We're getting you out. One woman, maybe 25. Step forward. Who are you? Doesn't matter. Can you all walk? She nodded. Some of us are weak, but we can move, then move. Now they started climbing out. Sloane's voice. 1 minute. They're spreading out, searching. We got the women out. All 10. Fletcher point north. That way. There's a van 2 blocks out. Run. They ran, but not fast enough. Headlights appeared. Coming around the corner, an SUV heading right for us. It stopped. Doors open. Von Cross stepped out, and behind him, Vincent Ashford. Well, Ashford said, the old man, still trying to play hero. 4 guards with them. All armed. Let them go, I said. This is between us. Ashford laughed. You've cost me 48 units last night. Do you know what that's worth? $10 million. Gone. They were people, not units. Semantics. He pulled his gun, aimed at the nearest woman. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me those USB drives, both of them, and then I'm going to kill you. And these women go back in the container. I stepped in front of the women. No, Vaughn raised his weapon. Fletcher did the same. 4 guards leveled theirs. Standoff. Then Sloane's voice. Steady. Ashford, this is your only warning. Tell your men to lower their weapons. Ashford looked around. Who said that? A red dot appeared on Vaughn's chest. Sloane's laser sight. I did, and I have 8 rounds in this rifle. I can drop all 4 of your guards before they pull their triggers. Then you're alone. Ashford's face went pale. You're bluffing. Try me. Silence. Then Ashford smiled. Fine. Lower your weapons. The guards hesitated. Do it. They lowered their guns. Smart, I said. Sloane, Garrett. FBI is 3 minutes out. Someone called them. You need to stall. 3 minutes. I looked at Ashford, I've been wondering something. A guy like you, smart, connected. Why risk everything running a trafficking ring? Money. The usual. No. There's more. You're scared. Someone above you. Pulling strings, his jaw tightened. You don't know what you're talking about. Then tell me, who do you work for? No one, liar. Vaughn stepped forward. Boss, let me kill him. End this. No. Not yet. Ashford looked at me. You want to know the truth. Old man? Fine. I'm a middle manager. Nothing more. This operation runs from Vegas to Phoenix to the border. Hundreds of women a year. And I'm just one piece. Who runs it? People you'll never touch. Politicians. Police chiefs. Judges. They're protected. Not anymore. We have evidence. Medical records, DNA, financial records. Enough to burn the whole thing down. Ashford laughed. You have nothing. Those USB drives, I'll find them. And you'll die here, in this container yard. Just another old man who couldn't mind his business. Sison's in the distance, getting closer. Ashford heard them too. His face twisted. FBI. You called them. No. But someone did. Panic flashed across his face, then rage. Then you die now. He raised his gun, aimed at my chest. The gunshot rang out, but it wasn't Ashford's gun. Vaughn collapsed, blood spreading from his chest. Sloane had fired. The guards panicked, raised their weapons. Sloane fired again. Again. 3 guards dropped. The 4th ran. Ashford stood there, alone, gun shaking. He looked at the sirens, at me. At the women behind me. No. He turned, ran toward the container road, trying to disappear into the maze. I ran after him. My knees screamed, lungs burning. Every step hurt, but I kept moving. Ashford ducked between containers. I followed, 20 feet behind, then 15. He turned left. I turned left. He was younger, faster, but I was angrier. Ashford glanced back, saw me gaining. He turned, raised his gun. Stay back, old man. I kept coming. He fired. The bullet hit a container beside me. Sparks flew. I didn't stop. He fired again. Missed. I closed the distance. 5 feet. I tackled him. We hit the ground hard. Concrete scraped my shoulder. He swung, caught my jaw. Pain exploded. I grabbed his wrist, slammed it against the ground. Once. Twice the gun clattered away. I pinned him down, 68 years old. But rage makes you strong. He tried to buck me off. Couldn't. This is for Evelyn, I said, my voice shaking. For Adelaide. For every woman you destroyed. FBI agents appeared around the corner. Weapons drawn. Mr. Steel, step back. Now I looked down at Ashford, bleeding, broken, terrified. This man had killed 48 women, tortured Nora, destroyed hundreds of lives. Part of me wanted to finish it, right here. But that's not who I am anymore. You're done, I said. I stood up, stepped back, let them take him. 2 agents pulled Ashford to his feet, cuffed him. He looked at me, hate burning in his eyes. This doesn't end, he spat. They'll replace me. The operation continues. You changed nothing. I stepped closer. Maybe, I said quietly, but you'll rot in prison, and every day you'll remember the 68-year-old man who brought you down. Granddaughter you tortured who outsmarted you, the nurse who died 5 years ago and still destroyed you. I leaned in. You're not a king and a pawn. You're nothing. And that's how you'll die. Forgotten. His face went pale. The agents dragged him away. Catherine Reeves approached Mr. Steel. We got an anonymous call 20 minutes ago. Someone said there was an active trafficking situation at this location. Who called? Don't know. But they were right. She looked at the 10 women, at the dead guards, at Ashford being loaded into a vehicle. We're going to need statements from everyone. You'll get them. But first, those women need medical attention. Reeves nodded, called over the medics. I watched as the women were led away, wrapped in blankets. Safe. Finally, Fletcher stood beside me. We did it. He said, yeah. But I didn't feel victorious. 48 women had died last night because I'd pushed Ashford into a corner. I'd saved 11, lost 48. Was that a win? Sloan climbed down from the crane, walked over. Nice tackle, she said. Thought your knees couldn't handle it. They can't. I'll pay for it tomorrow. Dalton pulled up in the van. FBI securing the scene. We should probably stick around. Answer questions. I nodded. Then I saw her, Nora, limping toward us. Lydia beside her. She should have been resting. Recovering. But she was here. You're supposed to be at Dalton's place, I said. I called the FBI, she said. Anonymous tip. Gave them this location. You should be in bed. And miss this? No chance. She looked at the container. At the women being treated by paramedics. How many? 10. All alive. Tears filled her eyes. Mom would be proud. Yeah. She would. Agent Reeves approached. Miss Whitfield. I understand you have evidence? Nora pulled out both USB drives, everything you need. Financial records from Ashford's operation. And medical records from my mother. DNA evidence on 43 buyers. Reeves took them, turned them over in her hands. This is substantial. We'll need time to process. But if what you're saying is true, this could take down the entire network. It's true. Every word. Reeves looked at me. Mr. Steel, you and your associates need to come to the field office. For debriefing, we'll be there. She walked away. I looked at my crew. Dalton, Fletcher, Sloan. We'd started this 72 hours ago. 4 old bikers trying to save 1 girl. We'd saved 11 and destroyed a trafficking network. Not bad for a bunch of retirees. But the 48 faces haunted me, would always haunt me. The trial lasted 4 months. Vincent Ashford, 45 years. No parole. Von Cross was dead. Killed in the container yard. The 43 buyers from Evelyn's USB. All arrested. All charged. 2 cops. 1 judge. 3 CEOs. Politicians. Lawyers. The trial was national news. Nora testified for 6 hours straight. Told everything she knew, everything she'd seen. The jury deliberated for 2 days. Guilty. All counts. Lydia Patterson testified too, and so did the 10 women from Container 247C. The FBI expanded the investigation, followed the money, the connections. Within 6 months, They dismantled 47 trafficking operations across the Southwest, 500 women rescued, 200 arrests. It was the biggest trafficking bust in U.S. history, and it started with a broken hand in a diner. I was at Maggie's when the verdict came through. Same booth, same coffee, but I wasn't alone anymore. Nora sat across from me. Cast finally off, ribs healed. She was enrolled in nursing school, University of Arizona. Following her mother's footsteps, Maggie brought over coffee. You two are here so often, I should just name this booth after you. The Steel family booth, Nora said, smiling. Has a nice ring to it. My phone buzzed except from Wade Brennan. Verdict's in. Guilty on all counts. You did it, Garrett. I showed Nora. She smiled, but tears filled her eyes. I wish Mom could see this. She does, I said, wherever she is. She sees. We sat in silence for a while, the weight of it all settling. 60 women we'd tried to save, 11 we'd gotten out, 49 who died. The math didn't balance, would never balance. Garrett, Nora said softly, you're thinking about them again, always, the 48. Yeah. She reached across the table, took my hand. I think about them too. Every day, every patient I treat. I wonder if I could have done something different. You were shot, bleeding. You'd already given everything, and you'd already saved me. But we both still went back. Still tried, I nodded. Mom's letter said something, Nora continued, about doing the right thing. Just the right thing. We didn't save them, no. But we tried, and we saved 10. And those 10 saved 500 more through testimony and evidence. She squeezed my hand. Ashford killed those 48. Not you. You gave them a chance. They didn't take it because he murdered them. That's on him. I wanted to believe that. Some days I did. Most days I didn't. You know what helps? Nora asked. What? Doing something. The garage. Mom's foundation idea. Helping one person at a time, smart kid, just like her mother. You're right, I said. So what do we do next? She smiled. We keep going. We keep helping. We make sure those 48 didn't die for nothing. I nodded. Yeah, we do. The grand opening was on a Saturday, sunny, 75 degrees. Perfect Arizona weather. The sign above the door read, Steely and Daughters Memorial Garage-Free Repairs for Veterans and Families in Need. Below that, smaller letters, in memory of Adelaide Steel, 1960-1988, and Evelyn Whitfield Steel, 1978-2019. The building had been empty for years. Old mechanic shop. I bought it with the reward money from the FBI. $200,000 for information leading to Ashford's arrest. I didn't want it. Felt like blood money. But Nora convinced me. Use it for something good, she'd said. Turn their evil into something that helps. So I did. Dalton, Fletcher, and Sloan helped renovate. Took us 6 months, but now it stood. Fully equipped. Ready to serve. The grand opening drew a crowd. 50 people. Maybe more. Veterans, families, community members. Wade Brennan was there. In uniform, A.G. Reeves came too, out of respect. And 15 women. Women we'd saved from that container, from the warehouse. The ones who survived, they'd rebuilt their lives, jobs, families. Hope, one of them, Lydia Patterson, had become an accountant, got married, had a baby 6 months ago. She walked up to me. Baby in her arms, Mr. Steele. I want you to meet someone. The baby was maybe 6 months old, big eyes, tiny hands. This is Evelyn, named after your daughter. My chest tightened, Lydia. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. Your daughter saved my life, even though she never. Her records, her courage. That's why I'm standing here. Why my daughter exists. She handed me the baby. I held Evelyn. Carefully, so small, so perfect. A life that wouldn't exist without my daughter's bravery. Nora appeared beside me. Looked at the baby. She's beautiful, yeah. She is. Lydia smiled. Without you two, I wouldn't be alive. Evelyn wouldn't exist. You gave me a second chance. You gave yourself that chance, I said. We just helped open the door. The ceremony started. Nora stood at the podium, addressed the crowd. Thank you all for coming. Today, We're opening this garage, but it's more than just a place to fix cars. She looked at me. It's a symbol of hope, of second chances, of doing the right thing even when it's hard. Her voice grew stronger. My grandfather, Garrett Steel, spent 40 years in the Hells Angels. He made mistakes. He lost people he loved. He carried regret for decades. She paused, but when I needed him, he showed up. 68 years old. He could have stayed home. Stayed safe, tears in her eyes now. Instead, he risked everything to save me, to save 60 women he'd never met. She looked at the crowd. My mother, Evelyn, collected evidence for 3 years. She wanted to help, but she was afraid, and she died before she died. Nora held up a photo. Evelyn in her nurse's uniform. This garage is named for her. And for Adelaide, my grandfather's sister, 2 women who deserved better. She set the photo down. We can't change the past. We can't bring them back, but we can honor them by helping others, by being brave when it matters. Applause. I stood up, walked to the podium. Nora stepped aside. I looked at the crowd, all these faces. These lives, I'm not good at speeches, I started. So I'll keep this short. I took a breath. 40 years ago, I made a choice. I chose the club over my family. I lost my daughter because of it. Pause. 14 years ago, I retired. I thought I was done. I thought I'd just fade away. I looked at Nora. Then my granddaughter walked into a diner with a broken hand, and everything changed. My voice cracked slightly. We saved 11 women, lost 48. Those numbers don't balance. Never will. I paused. But those 11 are alive. They have families now. Jobs. Hope. Little Evelyn here exists because we tried. I looked at the garage. This place is about trying, about showing up. For veterans who need help, for families struggling, for anyone who needs a hand. I met Lydia's eyes. Then the other survivors, because everyone deserves someone to show up for them. Applause. The ribbon was cut. The garage opened, and the work began. Dalton died on a Tuesday. Heart attack. In his sleep, 73 years old. Peaceful. They said I didn't go to the hospital. By the time Fletcher called, he was already gone. The funeral was the following Saturday. Full Hells Angels ceremony. Brothers from 3 states showed up. The current Phoenix chapter rode escort. 20 bikes. We buried him in a plot next to his ex-wife. Reconciled in the end. At the graveside, Fletcher spoke. Alton Bishop. Tiny brother friend. He lived by the code, rode hard, loved harder. Sloan stood beside me, didn't cry, just stood there. Stone-faced. When they lowered the casket, she finally spoke. Ride free, brother. After the ceremony, people shared stories. I stood by his bike. The F-250 parked nearby. Fletcher approached. You okay? No, me neither. We stood in silence. He said something to me, Fletcher said. Week before he died, we were working on a transmission at the garage. What? He said. Best ride of my life, brother. No regrets. I smiled despite myself. Sounds like him. He meant it. The rescue, the garage, helping people. He said it made the last 40 years worth it. Fletcher looked at me. He was proud of you, Garrett. Proud of what we built. I nodded. Couldn't speak. Sloan walked over. I'm heading back to Montana tomorrow. Ranch needs me. You coming back? I asked. Twice a year. Like always. Someone's got to make sure you two don't screw up the garage. She almost smiled. Alton would want us to keep going. So we keep going. Yeah, I said. We do. Fletcher kept working. Opened a clinic for trafficking survivors, free medical care, therapy, support groups. He'd saved 30 soldiers in the Gulf War. Now, he saved hundreds more every week. New faces, new stories, new hope. Sloan visited every 6 months, spring and fall. She'd show up unannounced, check the books, fix what needed fixing, leave. But she always stopped Dalton's grave, left a bottle of whiskey, his favorite. And Nora, she graduated nursing school, top of her class, got a job at St. Mary's ER, saved lives every day. Just like her mother, one night she called me, 2 a.m., Garrett. You awake? Now I am. What's wrong? Nothing. I had a patient tonight, trafficking victim. Police brought her in. Is she okay? Physically? Yes. But Garrett, she was so scared, so broken. I heard Nora's voice crack. I stayed with her, held her hand, told her about the foundation, about the garage, about resources. You did good. I kept thinking, this could have been me. If you hadn't come, silence on the line. Thank you, she whispered, for saving me, for giving me the chance to help others. You don't need to thank me. Yes, I do. You changed my life. Now I get to change theirs. We talked for another hour about her patient, about the work, about Evelyn. When we hung up, I sat in the dark, thinking about legacy. Dalton was gone, but the garage remained. Evelyn was gone, but Nora carried her forward. Adelaide was gone, but I made sure no one else suffered like she did. Maybe that's what legacy is, not living forever, but creating something that does. 3 years after that day at the diner, I'm 71 now, the garage is still running, stronger than ever. We've helped over 5,000 people, veterans, families, anyone who needs it. Trafficking network we dismantled, FBI estimates we saved over 500 lives, directly and indirectly. Not bad for 4 old bikers. I'm sitting in Maggie's diner right now, same booth, Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. My coffee's getting cold, but I don't mind. I'm reading a letter from Agent Reeves, Mr. Steel. I wanted to update you on the Ashford case. As of this month, all 43 buyers have been sentenced. Total prison time, over 600 years combined. Additionally, the FBI has used your evidence to dismantle 93 trafficking operations nationwide. Over 1,000 women have been rescued. Your actions 3 years ago created a ripple effect. You didn't just save 11 women, you saved 1,000. Thank you. Catherine Reeves, Special Agente, fold the letter, 1,000 women. The number stuns me. I thought about the 48 for so long, carried their weight, but Reeves is right. One action, one choice to not look away, create ripples. Maggie brings over more coffee. You okay, Garrett? You look emotional. I'm good, Mag. Just thinking about numbers and how they add up in ways you don't expect. She smiles. Well, you're proof that one person can make a difference. The bell above the door rings. Nora walks in. Scrubs on. Just finished a night shift. She slides into the booth across from me. Maggie brings her coffee without asking. Rough night? I ask. 3 car accidents, 2 overdoses, 1 domestic violence victim. She looks tired, but her eyes are clear. I stayed with the domestic violence victim until her sister arrived. Made sure she knew about shelters. Resources, you did good. I learned from the best. We sit in comfortable silence. Outside, the sun rises over the Arizona desert. Another day, another chance to help someone, Garrett, Nora says. I've been thinking about what comes next. For us, what do you mean? The garage is running well. I'm established at the hospital. We've built something good. Yeah, we have. But there's more work to do. More people who need help. I smile. What did you have in mind? She pulls out a folder. Inside, a proposal, Steel supporting traffic survivors, providing housing, education, job training. I read through it, comprehensive, well thought out. This is ambitious, I say. I know, but we have the network, the credibility, the resources. It'll take time, money, energy, I know. But Mom started something. We continued it. Now we need to expand it. I look at my granddaughter, 26 years old. Braver than I ever was. Evelyn would be so proud of you. She'd be proud of both of us. I close the folder. Okay, let's do it. Nora grins. Really? Really. But on one condition. What? We name the first housing facility after your mother. Tears fill her eyes. Deal. We shake hands, then hug. Maggie watches from behind the counter. Smiling outside, the world keeps turning. People keep hurting. But people also keep helping. I'm 71 years old, 40 years in the Angels, 14 years alone, 3 years with family. Not a lot of time, but enough to matter. My name is Garrett Steel. I'm a father who never met his daughter, a grandfather who found his granddaughter, a man who learned it's never too late, not to fix the past, but to honor it by doing better today, tomorrow, every day left. That's my legacy. 1,000 women saved because I chose not to look away. The bell above Maggie's door rings. Nora stands. Ready? She asks. We've got a foundation to build. I smile. Always outside. The sun rises. Another day, another chance. Let's not waste it. The Steel Foundation opened 5 housing facilities all across Arizona, Nevada, and California. First one, Evelyn House, Tucson, capacity for 20 women. Full services, medical care, therapy, job training, education support. Hundreds of survivors found homes, jobs. Hope? Nora runs the foundation while still working as a nurse. She's 28 now, married to a good man, a teacher named Marcus. They talk about having kids soon. I'll be a great-grandfather. Never thought I'd live to see it. The garage is still running. New volunteers, new veterans helped. Fletcher manages it now. 68 years old and still going strong. The work continues. I'm 73. My knees are worse. Back hurts most days. But I still ride my Harley. Still show up at Maggie's. Still do what I can. Because that's what matters. Not how you start, but how you finish. And I plan to finish strong.